Good morning, students. This is Professor Amar Bakodi, and today we have the third iteration of our online classes in Water Supply and Treatment Engineering, Module 3, and today's topic is filtration. Filtration. Large percentage of suspended particles are removed from sedimentation aided with coagulation as well as with plain sedimentation, but still the water will not be pure or potable. To remove or reduce the remaining impurities still further and produce potable water, the water is filtered through beds of fine granular material. So usually it will be sand. This process is called filtration and it may help in reducing color, odor, turbidity as well as pathogenic bacteria from water. So here basically from plain sedimentation tank and sedimentation aided with coagulation, we can remove most of the percentages of suspended particles. But unfortunately, even after removal of these suspended particles, there will be few more suspended particles which will be still present even after sedimentation, and because of which your water will not be pure, and the same we cannot supply it to the public for drinking purpose. Hence, to remove all these, we can actually use a fine granular material for the filtration process. So again, this filtration, as they have said, it will help you to remove color, odor, turbidity as well as pathogenic bacteria. Now, types of filters. So basically we can have three types of filters. One is slow sand filter, second one is rapid sand filter, and the third one is pressure filter. So slow sand filter, so here what will happen is the efficiency will be quite high, whereas the rate of filtration itself is very less because it is called as slow sand filter. So the rate of filtration will be very less, and because of this reduced rate of filtration, it will not be practical. Now similarly, rapid sand filter, so basically from sedimentation aided with coagulation, that unit what we call it as clariflocculator. So from that unit, whatever the effluent is coming, we can feed that directly to this rapid sand filter, and in turn the treated water from this rapid sand filter needs to be disinfected, and then we can supply it to the public for drinking water. So this thing can be done with rapid sand filter. Now the last thing is pressure filters. So these are nothing but enclosed containers what we have. These are quite small in their section. So basically a vertical filter will be something like this. From bottom we'll give the inlet, and here we are going to have the material. So these material, again, different grading, sand, gravel, drainage system, so all those things will be there in this, and from the top we are going to take the effluent out. So this is how the pressure filter will work. So these can be used for small industries or small communities or localities. Theory of filtration. So what do you mean by this theory of filtration? Basically, to understand how the filtration works or how the treatment occurs through this filtration, we have basically these four concepts. So these four concepts will try to explain how the filtration actually works. Okay. So the first one is mechanical straining. So you can check it out. Yeah, mechanical straining. So if you check out this particular sample example, let us say this is our filtration or a slow sand filter, rapid sand filter or pressure filter, any of those. In that, basically what we'll have is, as I've told, so basically imagine these as the sand particles. Yeah, so these are the sand particles. Yeah, something like this. Now what will happen is, in this mechanical straining, as and when the water is passed from the top, so again in the previous slide I have told for pressure filter the water will be fed from the bottom, but for slow sand filter and rapid sand filter usually the water will be fed from the top. So imagine this. This is how the water is flowing through this, and these are the sand particles. As and when we have the lower layer of gravel or sand particles, what we have. So the first concept of mechanical straining, what actually happens over here is, as and when the water is passing through these, what I can say, voids in between these sand particles or filter media, what actually happens over here is, if these got any suspended particles, so I'll just change this color. Yeah, so if these sand particles or any of the suspended particles are present over here, what they will do is, these suspended particles might get caught up into these spaces, and only the water will pass through the bottom. Yeah, so this, you can imagine this as water. So water will be passing through here, whereas these blue dots indicating these suspended particles will be held up by these particular sand particles, or else voids in the sand particles. So such kind of process, so basically it is nothing but filtration itself. So with such kind of treatment process or such kinds of concept, we can say that mechanical straining will work, and because of which the filtration is going to take place. So this is the first theory of filtration. Now the second one we have is flocculation and sedimentation. So what do you mean by flocculation and sedimentation? Already we have studied this in our previous class. Imagine this, if I zoom in into any one of the section, as you can see here, imagine I am zooming it in. So what will happen over here is this, let us say these, I have 4 large sand particles, imagine this, something like this. So now what will happen, the space in between these, you can see, check out this space in between what we have. So these space, it is nothing but what we are going to call it is, these spaces what we have, we are going to call them as, these space itself will act as a sedimentation tank. So in a microscopic level, what will happen, each void which are present over here in between the gravel or sand particles, so these individually will act as a sedimentation tank, and in that, as and when the particles are passing through, so these will be flocculated, and then they can be settled, or else a larger particle will be formed, and in turn they will be trapped inside these voids only. So it is as good as the formation of particles are there, flocculation will be there, and in turn they are going to entrapped by those small voids. So this is the second concept what we are going to have. Now similarly, third one is biological metabolism. So in this biological metabolism, what will happen, I'll try to show it here. Imagine again we have down further these same kind of sand or gravel particles. So as and when the dirty water or raw water or untreated water is passing from the upside, what will happen is, so it is as and when it passes through here, along with the suspended particles, if this raw water contains any of the microorganisms, so even those microorganisms will be getting attached to these particular sand particles. Those will be attached to these sand particles. So as and when those sand particles are attached, or else these microbes are attached to them, so the next, as and when the water is flowing here, so these microorganisms can take care, or else they can consume few of the organic bits of these suspended particles. So here I am saying it is an organic. I hope in the our regular classroom, so what we have discussed during the properties of or else chemical characteristics of water, so that time we have gone for this. So ultimately we have 4 type of pollutants. One is organic, it may be in the suspended form, or it may be in the dissolved form. Yeah, it may be in the dissolved form, or similarly we can have this inorganic, and again inorganic may be in the suspended form or dissolved form. So here what these microorganisms will do is, they will try to take care of this organic suspended particles. So even those can be consumed, or else those can be entrapped by these microorganisms which have been attached on top of these sand layers. So this is nothing but process, we can call it as biological metabolism. So this is how it works for the filtration process. And the last one right now what we have is electrolytic changes. So for the class sedimentation aided with coagulation, we have studied that. So all these suspended particles which are there, usually those are what? Negatively charged. Those are negatively charged. Similarly, as and when these sand particles are there, usually these will be positively charged. So as and when these negatively charged suspended particles try to pass through these positively charged sand particles, so water will flow through, and in turn these negative and positive charges will attract each other, because of which the sand will have or else the sand will absorb all the suspended particles which will be passing nearing it. So what will happen? These negative and positive charges, so they get neutralized. In turn, the sand particle will absorb the suspended particles which are going to pass through this. Now after a particular period of time, when the charge on this top layer of the sand will be neutralized, so at that point of time what will do? Usually 1.5 to 3 centimeters of this sand will be scraped off, will be taken off, and similarly the new layer or else the beneath layer, what the sand is there, so that is going to get exposed to the direct water which is going to be there. So this is how all the four methods of this theory of filtration will be. Filter materials. Now basically for filter materials we have three types. One is sand, second one is gravel, that is coarse aggregate, and third one is anthracite. So in India usually we have sand as well as gravel, but we don't have this anthracite. So let us first discuss what is this. So anthracite is nothing but it is actually a part of your coal. Okay, so why do we need these filtering materials, or else what are the properties that require? Is basically we want high surface area. So what do we mean by that high surface area? Imagine I'll give you two examples. One is this simple particle. Second one is I have particle of, let us say, shape something like this. So out of this, if you check it out, the surface area of this first particle will be less and the surface area of second particle is more. You can see almost both of these have the same size, but if you consider the surface area, so the first one will have less surface area and the second one will have more surface area. And as and when the surface area is more, this particular material will have more surface on which the suspended particles can come and get attached. So basically here what will happen, as and when the surface area is more, your filtering will be much more better. So actually this anthracite is nothing but it is a type of your charcoal or coal, what we call it. And unfortunately in India we don't get these things, but some of the researchers are trying to find out the alternative materials for sand as well as gravel that we can use it for our particular treatment. Now coming back to the sand or fine particles. So if I need to use a sand as a filtering media, then what should be its properties? So the first one is it should be free from dirt and other impurities. That is, it should be quite clean. It should not have any dirt or suspended particles attached to this. Second is it should be of uniform nature and size. That is, the gradation of that particular sand should be quite uniform. So we should not have a very large chunk as well as very fine particles in the same layer. Similarly, it should be hard and resistance. That is, it should be very hard and resistance to all the weathering or all the action that it is going to come in contact with during the filtration process. And lastly, it should not lose more than 5% of its weight even after exposure to sulfuric acid for 24 hours. So what they are saying is, even after 24 hours of exposure of sulfuric acid, the sand should not lose more than 5% of its weight. If the sand is complying with all the conditions what we have discussed here, then that sand can be used as a filtering material. Now similarly, properties of gravel. So again the gravel should have, again gravel is nothing but a coarse aggregate. So sand is a fine aggregate. So gravel also should have all the properties of sand what we have discussed. Along with that, same thing, it should be hard, durable, free from impurities, properly rounded, and it should have a minimum density of 1600 kg per meter cube. So the minimum density required over